enigmatic haunting of the Watcher House, unveiling the malevolent secrets of a dark October night. October 3, 2023. The date itself seemed innocuous, just another day on the calendar. The place, however, was anything but ordinary. Nestled deep within the dense forests of Vermont stood a house that had earned a sinister reputation over the years, the Watcher House. Legend had it that the house was built in the late 1800s by a reclusive family. They were known for their eccentricity and their aversion to any form of human contact. As the years passed, the townsfolk whispered tales about strange occurrences surrounding the house. Lights flickering in the dead of night, unsettling cries echoing through the trees, and chilling glimpses of shadowy figures at the windows. It was said that the Winstons had made a pact with something sinister that dwelled within the woods, something they called the Watcher. On the fateful evening of October 3, 1923, the townsfolk gathered near the Watcher House. Their torches flickered in the darkness as they chanted in an attempt to rid the area of the malevolent presence they believed had taken hold of the Winstons. But their efforts were in vain. That night, the entire Winston family vanished without a trace, leaving behind nothing but a house shrouded in mystery and terror. Fast forward to the present, and the Watcher House had become a source of morbid fascination for thrill-seekers and paranormal investigators. Among them was a group of friends, John, Emily, Sarah, and Mark, who had heard the stories and decided to spend the night in the infamous house armed with their cameras and ghost-hunting equipment. The clock ticked ominously as the group arrived at the decrepit building on that chilly October night. Moonlight pierced through the thick canopy of trees, casting eerie shadows on the house's dilapidated facade. Ivy crawled up its walls, and the once white paint had long since peeled away, revealing the weathered wood beneath. "Are you sure about this, John?" Emily whispered, her voice quivering as she clutched her camera. John flashed a confident grin. "Absolutely. This is going to be the adventure of a lifetime. We'll debunk these spooky legends once and for all." As they ventured inside, the air grew heavy with the scent of decay. Dust motes danced in the weak beams of their flashlights as they explored room after room. The atmosphere was stifling, suffused with an otherworldly chill that sent shivers down their spines. Sarah gasped as she pointed her flashlight at an old family portrait hanging on the wall. The Winston family stared back at them with hollow eyes, their faces twisted in a grotesque parody of smiles. "Creepy," Mark muttered. The group pressed on, determined to capture any evidence of the supernatural. They set up their cameras and audio recording equipment in the living room, hoping to document any paranormal activity. As the hours passed, the house seemed to come alive with strange sounds. Whispers in the walls, footsteps echoing through the hallways, and an occasional, faint sobbing. Emily's camera caught a glimpse of movement at the window. She gasped and pointed it out to the others. They hurried to the window, but there was nothing there except for the swaying trees outside. "What was that?" Emily asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know, but it couldn't have been the wind," John replied, his eyes darting around nervously. The group huddled together, their senses on high alert. The hours stretched on, each minute feeling like an eternity. Then, as the clock struck midnight, the real horror began. A blood-curdling scream pierced the silence. It was not from one of them, but from somewhere within the house. Panic surged through their veins as they scrambled to find the source of the sound. They burst into a room on the second floor to find Sarah standing frozen, staring at a mirror. In the reflection, they saw something that defied explanation. A shadowy figure, hunched and twisted, hovered behind Sarah. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent red light. Before anyone could react, the figure lunged at Sarah, passing through the mirror and into her. She let out a guttural scream, her body contorting unnaturally as she collapsed to the floor. "Sarah," Emily shouted, rushing to her friend's side. Mark and John wrestled with the mirror, trying to free Sarah from the grip of the malevolent entity. It took every ounce of their strength, but they managed to pull her away, and the shadowy figure retreated back into the mirror with an eerie, mocking grin. Trembling and pale, Sarah regained consciousness, but her eyes had changed. They now held a sinister glint, and her voice dripped with a chilling, otherworldly quality. "The Watcher is watching us. It wants you all." The group's fear was palpable, but they couldn't leave Sarah behind. They decided to stick together and confront whatever malevolent force had taken hold of the Watcher house. With trembling hands, they continued their investigation. As they explored further, they uncovered more unsettling secrets about the house. Hidden passages, cryptic symbols etched into the walls, and a diary belonging to one of the Winston family members. The diary spoke of rituals and sacrifices, of the family's desperate attempts to appease the Watcher. With each discovery, the malevolent presence seemed to grow stronger. The temperature dropped to bone-chilling levels, and their equipment malfunctioned one by one. Shadows moved in the corners of their vision, and unsettling whispers filled their ears. Hours turned into an eternity as the group faced an unrelenting onslaught of terror. Emily's camera captured a spectral figure descending the staircase, while Mark heard the anguished cries of the Winston family echoing through the halls. John felt an invisible hand close around his throat, squeezing the breath from him. They realized that the Watcher house was not just a place of malevolence. It was a prison for a dark and ancient entity that hungered for their souls. The house itself was a living, breathing nightmare. Desperation and terror gripped the group as they realized the only way to escape was to confront the Watcher itself. With trembling hearts, they made their way to the room with the cursed mirror. There, they found Sarah, her eyes glowing with malevolence, standing before the mirror. "The Watcher demands a sacrifice," she intoned in a voice that sent shivers down their spines. As they watched in horror, Sarah reached out and touched the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. A deafening roar echoed through the house as the malevolent entity emerged, a grotesque, nightmarish specter of shadows and malice. With their strength waning and their courage bolstered by desperation, the group confronted the Watcher. They recited incantations they had found in the diary, calling upon the forces of light to banish the malevolent entity. The room shook, and the air crackled with energy as the Watcher fought back with all its malevolent might. But the group's determination and the power of their incantations proved stronger. With a final ear-piercing scream, the Watcher was banished back into the cursed mirror, sealing it once more. The wisdom from the Watcher house reminds us that some secrets are better left undisturbed, and that in our quest for answers, we must always be prepared for the terrifying truths that may lie hidden in the darkness. Thank you for joining us for this spine-tingling story. We hope you found it both thrilling and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider participating in our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with your friends. Your support goes a long way in helping us create more engaging content for you. Goodbye, and may you always tread carefully in the world of the unknown.